Hi, I'm astrologer Penny Dix, and welcome to yet another Astrobite. And today, the 14th of January, Tuesday, is about Venus, our planet of love, relationship, the feminine, the divine feminine, also self-worth and money, is squaring, that's not always very good, well, challenging, let's say, the planet Jupiter, our planet that is retrograde currently in the sign of Gemini. And of course, Jupiter is about optimism, luck, good fortune, and expansion. But sometimes we can expand the way we don't want to expand. It can be too much of a good thing. So Tuesday the 14th, is this meaning that we are going to have too much of a good thing? Because on one level, Venus square Jupiter could mean overindulgence. So that might be something that one has to guard against today. But let's just have a little bit of a look more intently into what this energy might be about. Because interestingly, Uranus, the planets of shocks, surprises, the unexpected, sudden events, change, in Taurus, retrograde, is actually on the mid-heaven of the event chart. So there's something that is going to be happening in the public sort of arena, which I think is to do with money and finance. This could be a scandal coming out about something. And that to me kind of sets the tone for the whole of Tuesday. Remember, this is following on from Monday's full moon in Cancer, which was, remember, the full moon conjunct Mars, our planet of energy, action, assertion, and sometimes aggression. So Jupiter in the event chart in Gemini, remember, can sometimes make us overthink. But it can also have us coming up with lots of brilliant ideas or get rich quick schemes because of that Uranus in Taurus. And sort of because it's squaring, which is challenging, Venus that rules Taurus, that can be about finance and money and value, then it seems to me to be saying that there will be things going on in the news about the economy in whatever part of the planet you live in. How does this work out on a personal level, I wonder? Well, it may be that because Venus is in the 7th house in Pisces of the event chart, that you have to have a serious discussion with a significant other in your life about finance and about what is worth, what is value. And, I said on Sunday when I was looking at this particular aspect that this can be something about valuing the self, and that we have to value the self before we can really fully value another or love another. This is also about self-love. And I think because Jupiter is squaring it, it's like saying, don't get so carried away with making money and kind of caught by the, if you like, the gods of money, that you lose sight of love. There's something in this energy which is very much about, as I said, the word for the day is overindulgence. There's something indulgent for me about this energy. Watch it today with anything that you might sort of think, am I just being a little bit greedy here? A little bit, even getting into kind of meanness in a way that is not kind of, healthy, quite frankly. So just be mindful of that. Now, the other thing I want to say about this is that we've still got this Mars trine Neptune. So Mars, of course, in this chart is in the 12th house, which is about the inner self and about the psyche, the soul. So this is how you're feeling about you. In a way, there's something that is just not resonating right for you. And this is on Tuesday. There's something on Tuesday that doesn't feel quite right. And you can't quite get hold of what it is, because Neptune is causing confusion. It's causing illusion. And I think it can mean on one level that if you are involved in financial dealings with others, if you have joint investments with another, if you have a joint bank account, that be straight with each other. There's just something, and I think you're probably reading between the lines that I'm saying. There's just a sense of the overindulgence or the overspending that can come out and affect another, so that it sparks off, quite frankly, bad feeling and disagreements. And that's not really the way we want to kind of get into the week, is it? After a full moon of letting go and clearing out. And remember, that full moon was conjunct Mars. So there is that energy around of assertion, aggression, of divine masculine energy, really kind of making itself felt. There's a clash here between the masculine and the feminine, I feel. And I think you just have to guard against getting a little bit too caught up in a kind of intuitive psychic part of yourself, because I don't feel that you will somehow be really sensing clearly the truth of whatever it is that's going on financially. Whether it's between you and another, you and yourself, are you being honest with you about what you've got? That's another way to look at this. You know, sometimes it takes me a while to get to it, but I usually get there in the end, don't I? And there's something about this that is really making me think, honesty with self about money. So let's have a look at our word of the day, which is overindulgence. So of course, I've got our usual selection of quotes for word of the day. And we have one here by Somerset Maugham, which is, excess on occasion is exhilarating. It prevents moderation from acquiring the deadening effect of a habit, which of course is so typical of the age when Somerset Maugham lived, because there was something quite decadent about that kind of life back in the sort of, what would it be, 20s, 30s. You know, I've got this sort of image of women in these wonderful slim dresses and the little feathers on a sort of band round the head and sipping a martini. And so there was something about that. And someone unknown said, overindulgence saps energy, clarity and strength, leaving you empty when you need to be full. That really, to me, underlines what I'm saying about the Jupiter making this square aspect to Venus. So it's the overindulgence, the overthinking, it saps your energy. It doesn't help you see things clearly. Mark Twain said, too much of anything is bad, but too much good whiskey is barely enough. Well, I don't drink anymore. And I think Brandon, Conscious Medium Brandon Ross, that I used to do the show Whiskey and Bagels with, would like that quote. So if you're listening, Brandon, that's one for you. But I've given up. And do you know what? I really like it. I like sobriety. It's great. I've got far more energy. Seneca said, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Do you know that is so true? That's about greed. When is enough enough? And this brings us on, I think, to thinking about this idea when we get caught in fear of lack, fear that we do not have enough, that we will not have enough. Now, I know in reality that some people literally do not have enough because of their circumstances. So, you know, this has to be a generalization, and I'm in no way, overlooking the reality of the lives of millions of people. But there is a sort of echelon of society in various parts of the world where greed rules. And that is sad, because it is like, when is enough enough? And actually, if you just want stuff and money, then actually, yes, you are very poor, because that isn't what makes you rich. It isn't what makes us rich. And, you know, there was an unknown quote from someone that was, self-restraint is the key to greatness. Overindulgence leads to a hollow satisfaction. That kind of leads on from the Seneca quote. Peter de Vries said, gluttony is an emotional escape, a sign that something is eating us. Now, I always remember one of the things I was learning when I was training as a therapist about eating and eating disorders is that, you know, when we eat, what is it that we're swallowing? What feelings don't we want to express that we're trying to suppress with the quick fix of some sugar or alcohol or whatever it is? What don't we want to digest? We take something in, we swallow our feelings, we push down our emotions instead of, you know, what I do now when I get that kind of instant kind of, it's like an unconscious urge to go to the fridge, and I open it and I look at everything and I think, Penny, stop it. Just stop a minute. Am I hungry? No. Why am I at the fridge? What is it I'm trying to feed, suppress, or I don't know. Why am I trying to self-destruct? Why am I going to give myself something that I'm then going to feel bad about? And once you start having that conversation with yourself, it's easier to shut the fridge, you know, maybe get a glass of water or a cup of tea and think about it and think, well, what is it I'm feeling? What am I trying to take in that I can't? Why am I trying to push down these feelings? And lastly, there was an unknown statement from someone that really leads on from what I've just been saying. Indulgence may bring pleasure, but only discipline sustains it. I mean, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because, you know, when we go to the fridge and we all do it, I've done it, I still do it. And sometimes I think, yeah, I know I'm doing it, but I'm going to do it. I'm human. And remember, all of you, you are human. Never forget that. But, you know, indulgence may bring pleasure, but only discipline sustains it. It's so true, isn't it? Because indulgence brings instant gratification. This is baby stuff. This is when we were little babies and Mummy didn't get it right. She couldn't recognize what our crying was about and what particular thing we needed. Did we need feeding? Did we need changing? Did we just need attention? Did we need burping? Did we need scratching? Did we need whatever it was? Just attention. Instant gratification is what most mothers try, probably, to give to their babies, but will fail. It is impossible to do everything right with a baby. They don't come with manuals. And all you mothers out there will attest to that. You never get it right. But, sometimes what happens is we don't grow out of our need for instant gratification. And if we think of that in context with this transit today of Jupiter squaring Venus, Venus is about sort of, value and lovely things and luxury. And often it's not food necessarily that we use to feed ourselves with, it's objects. The instant gratification of buying something pretty, sparkly. This is probably mostly women, but I'm sure you guys do it as well. All of us do it in some way or another. We receive a dopamine hit. We're addicted to dopamine. You press the button. It's like gambling. And, you think one more coin in the slot because this might be the one that I get the jackpot. And then you get a little bit out and you think, yes, I'm probably near for the big one. So more goes in, more goes in, more goes in. And you've spent everything that you had in the beginning. On that note, I'm going to bring this thoughtful or thought-provoking Astrobite to a completion and say thank you so much for joining me for today's Astrobite. Just watch out for the overindulgence and the instant gratification, and you should get through today okay. So on that note, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back soon with another Astrobite. And take care, and bye for now. Bye.